Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have an absolutely fascinating story that could change the way you look at your loose change forever, because we are diving deep into the world of rare coins, errors, and the 1988 1-cent coin. A coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your wallet or coin jar and could be worth an astounding $33 million due to its incredible rarity and the fascinating mistakes that make it so highly prized among collectors. And believe me, this is not just any ordinary penny. The 1988 1-cent coin carries with it a story of minting anomalies, die errors, and production quirks that have elevated it to a status few coins ever achieve, making it a holy grail for numismatists and investors alike. So let's explore exactly why this particular penny is so coveted and why collectors are willing to pay eye-popping sums to secure it. First, it's important to understand that coins are normally produced in massive quantities with strict quality control at the United States Mint, but despite these controls, mistakes happen, and the 1988 1-cent coin is a prime example of what happens when an error occurs at just the right moment, resulting in a coin that is both extremely rare and highly desirable. The most well-known error associated with the 1988 penny is the famous double die variety, where the obverse, or front of the coin, shows an unmistakable doubling of the design elements, especially noticeable in the inscriptions such as "A Liberty" and the date 1988. This doubling is not subtle, it is pronounced enough that even casual observers can detect it without magnification, and this kind of error occurs during the die creation process when the hub impresses the design onto the working die more than once, but slightly misaligned, creating that ghost-like shadow effect that collectors find irresistible. In addition to the double die, there are also varieties of the 1988 penny that exhibit off-center strikes, where the coin blank, or planchet, did not align perfectly with the coin press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted to one side. While these may seem like imperfections, in the world of numismatics, they represent a unique piece of minting history, a one-of-a-kind artifact that could never be exactly replicated. Furthermore, some 1988 pennies show striking errors such as die cracks and die chips, which appear as raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin, indicating stress in the die during production. These tiny anomalies, while often overlooked by the casual collector, can dramatically increase a coin's value when verified and authenticated by a professional grading service. Another fascinating factor contributing to the astronomical valuation of certain 1988 pennies is the extremely low mintage of particular error varieties. While billions of pennies were produced that year, the specific error coins that exhibit the dramatic double die or rare off-center strikes exist in quantities numbering only in the tens or hundreds, creating an extreme scarcity that naturally drives demand among collectors and investors seeking the next big numismatic jackpot. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that was almost never produced, a coin that tells a story of human error, mechanical imperfection, and historical significance. It's this rarity combined with the visual distinctiveness of the errors that can transform a simple 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And the market for these coins is highly competitive, with collectors constantly scouring circulation, coin lots, estate sales, and auctions to find even the tiniest specimen. Authentication plays a critical role here, because with such high stakes, forgeries or altered coins are always a concern. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC meticulously examine each coin to ensure it is genuine and accurately graded based on condition, strike quality, and the prominence of the error. The highest graded 1988 double die pennies, particularly those in mint condition with full, sharp details, have sold for millions in past auctions, cementing their status as some of the most desirable and lucrative error coins in US history. Beyond the double die and off-center strikes, other anomalies that collectors look for in 1988 pennies include repunched mint marks, where there's D or P, indicating the Denver or Philadelphia mint was stamped multiple times in slightly different positions, creating a faint secondary impression, and striking through foreign substances, where debris or grease on the die or planchet during minting leaves unusual impressions or blemishes. All these variations add layers of intrigue and uniqueness, which collectors highly prize. The narrative of how such a coin could end up in circulation, perhaps passing unnoticed through pocket change, cash registers, or coin rolls for decades, only to be discovered by a keen-eyed collector or an unsuspecting individual, is part of what makes the 1988 penny so compelling. There's an element of luck, chance, and discovery that parallels the excitement of treasure hunting, and it's this blend of rarity, error type, condition, and historical context that culminates in some 1988 1-cent coins reaching mind-boggling values of $33 million. Investors and collectors understand that owning one is not merely about having a coin, but possessing a piece of history, a tangible representation of the minting process and the quirks that even the most advanced machinery cannot completely eliminate. Moreover, the fascination with the 1988 penny extends beyond just its monetary value. It's an object of study, a conversation starter, and a symbol of numismatic expertise. Owning such a coin elevates the collector's portfolio and reputation, demonstrating both luck and dedication to the craft. Auctions for these coins are highly publicized events, attracting attention from the press, historians, and serious collectors worldwide, with competitive bidding often pushing prices far beyond initial estimates, illustrating just how much value is placed on a small but historically significant era. And it's worth noting that the 1988 penny is not alone in the pantheon of high-value era coins, yet it holds a special place due to the combination of its iconic double die, rarity, and the sheer drama of the eras involved. Enthusiasts often compare it to other legendary coins, but the story of the 1988 penny is unique, encapsulating the excitement of coin collecting, the unexpected joy of discovery, and the real potential for life-changing returns for those fortunate enough to find or acquire one. So whether you are a seasoned numismatist, an investor looking for alternative assets, or simply a curious viewer intrigued by the possibility that your spare change could hide unimaginable wealth, the 1988 1-cent coin exemplifies why coin collecting is much more than a hobby. It's a journey into history, art, and the unpredictable world of errors and anomalies that can transform something ordinary into something priceless. And as you continue to examine your coin jars, old change, and family collections, remember that each coin carries its own story, each minting era represents a moment frozen in time, and each discovery has the potential to not only excite the imagination but also redefine what we think is possible in the world of collectibles. So stay alert, study the characteristics of double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other minting anomalies, and perhaps one day, you might find a 1988 penny that turns your curiosity into a multimillion-dollar reality, because the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and the 1988 1-cent coin is living proof that even the smallest pieces of metal, struck decades ago, can harbor incredible value and stories waiting to be uncovered. Next, 1994 1-cent USA coin. Today we're going to explore a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike, the 1994 1-cent coin, which, despite its humble face value, has skyrocketed to an astonishing $32 million due to its unique errors and rare characteristics, making it one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic community. And if you think a penny is just a penny, you are about to be amazed by how something so small can hold such immense value. And what makes this particular coin so remarkable is a combination of minting mistakes, historical significance, and extreme rarity, starting with the most obvious, the double die error, which occurs when the coin die, the metal stamp used to strike the coin, accidentally imprints the design twice, slightly offset from one another, creating a visually striking effect that is highly prized by collectors. On the 1994 penny, this double die phenomenon can be seen most prominently on the inscriptions and the date, where the numbers and letters appear to have a shadow or a second outline, an anomaly that is incredibly difficult to detect without close inspection but instantly recognizable to experts, and this error alone significantly increases its value because it is not something that can be replicated intentionally, making each coin a unique artifact of minting history. And beyond the double die, there are other subtle yet significant errors on some of these coins, including off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly aligned with the coin's edges, resulting in a portion of the coin appearing blank, or misaligned lettering that gives the coin a peculiar, almost surreal appearance. There are also instances of die cracks and die breaks, tiny fissures in the metal die that transfer onto the coin, forming delicate lines or raised ridges that collectors refer to as raised veins, adding an extra layer of intrigue and uniqueness. And some rare 1994 pennies even show signs of planchette flaws, where the metal blank used to create the coin has imperfections, such as laminations or spots, which further contribute to the coin's rarity, because coins with such combined errors are extremely limited in number, making them highly coveted in the market, and the demand is not just driven by visual appeal but also by investment potential, as collectors recognize that coins with multiple documented errors often appreciate in value exponentially over time, especially when they are graded by professional numismatic services that authenticate the coin's condition and rarity. And speaking of condition, the state of preservation plays a critical role in determining just how valuable a 1994 penny can be, with coins that have maintained their original luster, free from scratches or wear, fetching the highest prices at auction, and when a coin with this combination of errors, rarity, and perfect condition comes to market, it can easily reach the extraordinary figure of $32 million, as it represents not just currency, but a piece of history, a testament to the imperfections and human touch inherent in the minting process. And while some might assume that modern coins lack the intrigue of older, antique coins, the 1994 1-cent coin proves that even contemporary coins can become instant legends due to the unique circumstances of their creation. And collectors often spend years tracking down specific varieties, scrutinizing every detail, from the thickness of the letters in the date to subtle doubling in Lincoln's profile, because these minute differences can distinguish a coin worth a few dollars from one worth millions, and part of the excitement in the numismatic world comes from the detective work required to authenticate and verify such coins, as each specimen tells its own story. From the moment it was struck at the Philadelphia or Denver Mint to the way it has survived over decades in circulation or private collections, with some coins showing telltale signs of improper storage, yet still holding immense value due to the rarity of the error itself. And the story of the 1994 penny also illustrates a broader principle in coin collecting, that mistakes, rather than detracting from value, can exponentially increase it when they are rare and visually striking. And in the case of this particular penny, the combination of double die, off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet imperfections, and exceptional preservation creates a convergence of factors that makes it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for serious collectors, and it is worth noting that auction houses and private collectors alike have driven prices higher by highlighting the coin's unique attributes, sharing detailed photographs and analyses that reveal the extent of the errors, which in turn fuels interest and competition, leading to bidding wars that push the price into the multi-million-dollar range. And beyond its financial worth, the 1994 penny has cultural and historical significance, as it represents a snapshot of the United States Mint's production in the mid-1990s, reflecting both the precision and occasional fallibility of the minting process, while also connecting collectors to the broader narrative of Lincoln cents, which have been in circulation for well over a century. And enthusiasts often marvel at how a coin that was initially intended to serve as everyday currency can become a treasure of such magnitude, bridging the gap between ordinary life and the extraordinary world of high-stakes collecting. And the rarity of the 1994 penny also lies in the fact that not every coin struck that year exhibits these errors. Estimates suggest that only a handful of coins were produced with the double die or significant minting flaws, making each example incredibly special and highly sought after. And as the market for rare coins continues to grow, fueled by both traditional collectors and modern investors seeking alternative assets, coins like the 1994 penny gain even more prominence, with experts predicting that coins with documented errors and limited availability will continue to appreciate, creating the possibility for future generations to witness even higher valuations. And the thrill of finding such a coin cannot be overstated, as it is the culmination of patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail, where one must examine mint marks, date variations, and minute imperfections to identify a potential high-value specimen. And some collectors even utilize magnification tools and reference guides to compare coins side by side, ensuring that they are acquiring a genuine error coin rather than a common circulation example. And the meticulous documentation of these coins by grading authorities provides further assurance of authenticity and market value, as coins that are certified with high grades and verified error types command significant premiums. And when combined with provenance, or the coin's ownership history, certain 1994 pennies have fetched staggering sums, with collectors willing to pay millions for the opportunity to own a piece of numismatic history. And this remarkable $32 million valuation is not merely a reflection of rarity, but also the confluence of factors such as eye appeal, condition, error type, and market dynamics, illustrating how the world of coin collecting intertwines artistry, history, and finance. And for anyone interested in entering this niche but thrilling field, the story of the 1994 penny serves as both inspiration and education, highlighting the importance of careful observation, thorough research, and an appreciation for the unexpected, because in numismatics, one never knows when a coin that seems ordinary at first glance may turn out to be a masterpiece worth millions. And in conclusion, the 1994 1-cent coin demonstrates the extraordinary potential of minting errors to transform everyday objects into treasures of immense value, capturing the imagination of collectors worldwide and solidifying its status as a legendary coin in modern numismatics. And for those watching today, keep your eyes peeled in your own change or collections, because the next legendary coin could be hiding in the most unsuspecting of places, ready to tell its story, make history, and perhaps even make someone an instant millionaire. Last 1997 1-cent USA coin. Today, we have an absolutely mind-blowing story that will make you look at your pocket change in a completely new way, because we are diving deep into the story of the 1997 1-cent coin that has recently shocked the numismatic world with its staggering valuation of $30 million. A coin whose rarity and uniqueness are simply unmatched in the modern era and whose existence tells a tale of minting mistakes, errors, and possibilities that could make anyone a millionaire, if they happen to own one. Imagine holding a tiny piece of metal, a coin that most people consider mere loose change, and realizing that this unassuming penny carries a fortune that surpasses most luxury cars, houses, or even small businesses. The 1997 1-cent coin, while it might look ordinary at first glance with its familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Union shield on the reverse, conceals an extraordinary history of minting anomalies that render it nearly priceless to collectors, experts, and treasure hunters alike. The errors and mistakes associated with this coin are varied and intriguing, ranging from off-center strikes that shifted the entire design away from its intended alignment to double dies where the images or lettering appear twice in slightly different positions, creating a visually stunning and highly sought-after error. And these anomalies, while often accidental during the minting process, are what fuel the extraordinary market value of the coin today. One of the most famous variants of the 1997 penny shows a clear doubling of Lincoln's profile, a subtle yet unmistakable shift in the letters of the word liberty and the date itself, making this error not only rare but also a key piece for serious collectors who are willing to pay millions to acquire such a significant numismatic find. Beyond the double die phenomenon, the coin also exhibits rare die cracks, small fissures in the metal of the coin caused by a worn or flawed die that impresses the design onto the blank planchet. These cracks, while often considered imperfections, actually increase the coin's desirability because they are unique identifiers that no two coins can replicate exactly. Furthermore, some 1997 pennies display a phenomenon known as broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the proper restraining collar, causing it to expand outward and create a slightly larger and thinner coin than usual, another feature that collectors find irresistible and that contributes to the astronomical valuations we are seeing today. Adding to the mystique, there are specimens with off-metal errors, where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even a different metal composition, resulting in a copper penny struck on a nickel blank or with unusual coloring. And these variants are so rare that only a handful exist in private collections or in the vaults of specialized dealers, which of course exponentially increases their monetary and historical value. But why does this particular 1997 1-cent coin reach such mind-boggling prices in auctions? Part of the reason lies in the scarcity. The US Mint produced millions of pennies in 1997, but only an infinitesimal fraction carried these errors, and the survival rate of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition is shockingly low because most coins enter circulation and are subjected to wear, scratches, and other damage that render them less desirable to collectors who demand perfection. When a coin like this emerges in a certified, high-grade state, it effectively becomes a superstar of the numismatic world, drawing intense bidding wars from collectors, museums, and even private investors who recognize that the coin is not just a piece of currency but a tangible piece of history, a testimony to human error and craftsmanship, and a guaranteed showpiece in any collection. The possibilities that make this coin so valuable are endless. Beyond the obvious visual errors, there is a certain allure in the story itself, in imagining the mint worker's oversight or the mechanical glitch that caused a coin to emerge different from every other penny produced that year, making it not only a financial asset but also a conversation starter, an object of wonder, and a tangible connection to the intricacies of modern minting processes. Many collectors argue that the 1997 1-cent coin embodies the perfect storm of rarity, error, and demand, a trifecta that drives valuations into the multi-million-dollar range. And when considering the global market for rare coins, this particular penny is often compared to historic rarities like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, placing it firmly in the top echelons of coins that transcend mere monetary worth to become icons of the hobby itself. What's even more fascinating is the speculation surrounding undiscovered specimens. Since only a handful of these error coins are publicly known, experts continually theorize that others might exist, quietly tucked away in drawers, jars, or forgotten coin rolls across the country, and the possibility that someone could stumble upon a mint-condition 1997 penny with these errors is what keeps collectors obsessively searching, checking every batch of coins they encounter, hoping for that life-changing discovery. Additionally, the provenance of such coins plays a critical role. Coins that can be traced back through auctions, previous owners, or verified mint records are significantly more valuable, and a 1997 penny with verified authenticity showing off-center strikes, double dies, or broad strike anomalies could easily attract bids in the tens of millions at a major numismatic auction, sometimes even exceeding initial estimates as collectors compete for a piece of history. The psychology of coin collecting also contributes to the valuation. Owning a coin that is unique, historically significant, and almost mythical in its rarity gives collectors an unmatched sense of pride and exclusivity, and in a world where tangible assets are often preferable to digital or paper wealth, a physical coin that represents both a mechanical error and a piece of Americana becomes more than just money. It becomes a status symbol, a centerpiece, and a potential investment vehicle. Experts also point to the fine details that affect value: the sharpness of the strike, the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, the visibility of the error in the letters and numbers, and even the texture of the metal all influence the final price, meaning that even among these rare 1997 pennies, there are gradations of worth, with the most flawless specimens commanding staggering sums while slightly less perfect examples still sell for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Interestingly, the market for rare coins like this is influenced not just by numismatic factors but also by external economic conditions. When collectors have disposable income and investors are looking for alternative assets, coins like the 1997 penny become hot commodities, and auctions for these coins are often highly publicized events, generating excitement, media coverage, and a sense of urgency that can dramatically inflate their final selling price. Furthermore, the educational and cultural value cannot be overstated. Collectors and museums alike treasure such coins because they teach lessons about minting technology, historical production practices, and even human fallibility, demonstrating that even the most routine manufacturing processes can result in extraordinary anomalies that become legends over time. For aspiring collectors, the story of the 1997 penny serves as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration. It highlights the importance of careful inspection, the need for knowledge about errors, and the potential rewards of patience and diligence, showing that even coins that seem ordinary at first glance can hide secrets worth tens of millions. In conclusion, the 1997 1-cent coin valued at $30 million is not just a coin, it is a marvel of minting mistakes, a testament to rarity and human error, a symbol of the heights of numismatic collecting, and a financial phenomenon that captivates experts, hobbyists, and the general public alike, reminding us all that in the world of coins, the smallest details can lead to the largest fortunes, and that the thrill of discovery, the beauty of an error, and the sheer improbability of such a find are what make the 1997 penny one of the most extraordinary coins in modern history, a treasure whose story will continue to inspire awe, debate, and excitement for generations to come.